Here we go. Hello, happy Tuesday. What is going on with my angle here? Hang on a second. Hang on. This is going to jack it up. I don't want to jack it up, so we're not going to jack it up. Happy Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen, or ladies and ladies. I don't know who else is on here, but it's Tuesday after the week that has lasted a month. Or was it just me? Did last week feel real long? Real long. But we survived, we did it, and now we're here. Literally not 4 minutes ago, I was in a training, a goal setting thing with a sisterhood that I am involved in, and I'm not gonna lie, it already has me fired up for, sorry, this ad is still playing. I must have gotten one of those like 5-minute ones. It already has me fired up for like setting my goals. I'm so excited about setting goals, and I don't even know what goals I'm going to set yet. And I asked this question just about an hour ago on Instagram. Have you guys started setting any goals for 2021 yet? I'm very, very curious to know. Let's talk. Let's see who all is here. We got Sarah and Janine and Pam and Becky. Brianne, hello, found me through Lakin. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome. I had such a fun time doing that collab with Lakin. I'm so glad that she asked me to do it because Power Sheets, you guys know, are my love. And so when she's like, hey, let's put together our top tips, I was like, yes, let's do that. And of course, I was honored because in my mind, Lincoln is like the goal setting guru, right? So I was honored that she asked me to collaborate with her. So welcome to all of my friends who are here from Lakin's channel. I'm so glad you're here. Hello, Sarah and Cheyenne and Kathy. No goals as of now. And that's okay. I'm just like, I'm already to the point of like, I'm trying to figure out what goals are more like smaller action items versus like big picture goals. Like this is what's happened and it's November and I've already been thinking about this since probably September because 2020 has me really looking forward to 2021. You know what I mean? So I'm already like, well, one thing I know I would love to do is have a brand photo shoot, you know, once COVID is done and all that. Amen, Sarah. Isn't that the yeah, maybe that should be my first goal is to just, you know, get there first and then we can talk about actually achieving things in the new year. Holy moly, some days it just feels like that would be a optimal goal, right? Just to be able to on January, like the ball dropping this year, correct me if you think I'm crazy, but like is gonna feel extra sweet because it means 2020 is over. Like it's not just a new year, but the year from hell will have ended. Like just me that feels this way because holy moly, this year. But regardless, I am ever the optimist. I'm a realist, but I am an optimist. Marie, hello, already using that Gracie emoji. I love it. I think Gracie is right outside that door because Daddy is downstairs in the basement working out, so she has nobody to play with, so she's guarding me on the top of the stairs. So I have a bodyguard. You better watch out, y'all. But me being ever the optimist, I'm like, all right, so what are we going to do to make next year or even the end of this year even better than what 2020 has already been, you know? And I'm currently working on that with the whole reverse diet process and all that jazz, which I can get into more in a minute because things are awesome. In short, things with that are going very, very well. But I'm already like, what goals do I want to even strive for? What do I want to do? Big things? Do I want to do just achievable things? Like, what do I want to do? I don't know. I feel like 2021 feels like the freshest start we've ever had. You know? Am I crazy? Am I being too optimistic? Probably. But that's just how I'm feeling right now, y'all. It is what it is. So let us do our highs and our lows for the week. For those of you that are new here, highs and lows is when everybody has the opportunity to share something awesome that has happened to them this week that they want to share with the community. And on the flip side, if you want to share your low, something you're struggling with, something that wasn't too great that you wanted to share with the community, we are here for you. This is a safe space for you. So feel free to share away in the chat roll and I will try and come up with mine. I mean, My high was that we had a very relaxing weekend. I just thought of another one. We had a very relaxing weekend, and I'm coming to terms with sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes my weekends need to slow down to the point of like, I don't even get my 10,000 steps. And you guys know that I'm a stickler for my steps. I love my steps. But there are a couple of weekends that have happened where like Saturday comes and goes and I'm at 5,000 steps. And for me, that's real low. And I haven't worked out and whatever. But I tell you what, sometimes I'm so exhausted during the week that lull, that rest, that recovery is exactly what I need to be able to hit the ground running again on Monday. So that was definitely a high. Dare I say, one of my highs is that we were supposed to get 4 to 7 inches of snow today. And while there is snow on the ground, there is not 4 to 7 inches out there. So your girl's a happy camper because we did not get the snowstorm we were supposed to get. Thank goodness for that. That's a high as well. And then, I don't know if anybody saw this little quick boomerang that I posted on Instagram, but I've got some new muscle tone coming in up in here that I noticed yesterday when I was lifting something heavy while I was in the bathroom. I happened to do like the upright row and I saw my shoulder definition and I was like, oh dang, that shoulder muscle wasn't quite as poppin' as it is now. This is new, which is awesome. I always love when I notice new muscle tone in my body. It's great regardless of your fitness goals, but it's really great when you have a muscle degenerating disease to see muscle growth. So I was super psyched about that yesterday. My low, I'm not even entirely sure, other than just the overall general emotionally taxing week that the United States of America had. That's just kind of the general low of emotion. Like that was anxiety provoking, regardless of what side you were on. It was anxiety provoking, and now it's over. At least for now. At least it's out of our hands. You know. Now we sit and we wait. So there's that. So that I would have to say is my low, but it is what it is. Let's see what everybody else has. Hi, went for a walk this week at lunch with a coworker for the first time this year. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Hi from this week. I started a new workout. Low, too much work this week. Brianna, what workout did you start? Like any specific thing in particular? Let's see. Socially distance and half in traffic. Hi, work is going great again, and it's less than 20 days until the wedding. Low, my diet is shot, but I'm going to get back on it. I gotta fit into that dress. Your diet is not shot. You just can make probably wiser choices, right? But it's a stressful time. Look, it's a stressful time right before you're getting married in a globally perfect situation. You're getting married in the middle of a global pandemic. Like, I can't even fathom the amount of stress that puts on you. So hang in there. You're almost there. And remember, the goal is just to get married. Just to get married. Like, that's literally my top wedding advice, is if you end of the day and you are married, everything went right. The end. But that's my opinion. But that's how I went into my wedding day, was like, you know what? If I end this day and I'm married to the man at the altar, awesome. Everything went great. Lows, no indoor plumbing since Friday, and chaos has completely thrown me off all my goals. Hi, I can't think of anything. That is rough. That is real rough. It actually got me thinking, like, how do people with only one bathroom in their house do a bathroom renovation? That's really complicated. Kim, hi. Hi all, first time watching live. Usually have to watch it on replay. Welcome to the live stream. Excellent. I love that people are here for the first time. That makes me so happy. Anne Marie, another name I don't know. Hi, it's been beautiful here in Syracuse, New York for 7 days, so I was able to get a lot of steps in every day. That is awesome. I am so jealous, although I can't be that jealous because it was beautiful out like 2 days ago. And our weather is just, you know, all over creation. So, 2 days ago, 70 degrees, today, threatening 7 inches of snow. And the best part was, just because I was curious to know if my family back in Chicago, I'm in the Twin Cities for you guys that don't know, and my family is in Chicago, 6 hours away. And I was like, I wonder if they're going to get any of this snowstorm that we're supposed to get. So I flip over one screen to my family's city and it says 72. I'm like, I'm sorry. It's 29 degrees where I am and we're supposed to get 4 to 7 inches of snow and you have 72 just 6 hours away from me? What? Like 6 hours by car, to be clear. It's like a not 45 minute. I can't remember how long the flight is from Chicago to Minneapolis, but it ain't long. Oh my goodness. Rebecca, also your first time. Man, everybody is here tonight. I am so glad. I'm doing No BS Active by Whitney Way Thor of My Big Fat Fabulous Life. Yesterday was legs, today was shoulders. The only part of that I understood was My Big Fat Fabulous Life, but that sounds awesome. That's great. And you're loving it so far because that's what's important. And I love that there's like different body parts getting used because I'm a big fan of cardio and dance fitness and all that. But lately I have become a weightlifting junkie and I love, preaching and experiencing the importance of weight training and resistance training. So that's awesome. I spent all day at Starbucks. After this, we'll be driving to Target for one bathroom run until 7 a.m. and no morning coffee because I can't do 6 a.m. coffee. Man, that's rough, Lissa. That's rough. I'm so glad you guys are all here. Oh my gosh. Don't expect to be able to shower for another week. Oh man. You're going to Target. Get you some dry shampoo. For real. Get you some dry shampoo. Oh, I have something to say about Joel. Someone remind me. 76 today in central Pennsylvania. Lori, that is awesome. Man, that is so great for everybody except me here in Minnesota. I miss Joel. 72 here in Chicago, but severe weather this evening and getting colder. Yeah, my mom said that it was going to be like 32 by tonight. So she's like, don't be too jealous, but they got an extra day of 70. So hi from Florida. Well, hello there. Welcome. So Joel, you guys, most of you know Joel, our weather moved east. Oh, good. Because we certainly didn't get what we were supposed to. And Marie is not too far from me. So that's awesome. Good. I'm here for that because I was real afraid that I was going to feel confined and stuck in my house. Not that I have anywhere to go, but I like to have the option, you know? Like I like to, we're to the point of I didn't grocery shop this week because we're playing the game of how much stuff that's already in the house can we use up? Our 70s. Oh. Fair enough. Well, we didn't get as much snow as we were supposed to get either. Or at least I didn't. I don't know what's happening over by you, but I didn't. But the night is young. Maybe it's just delayed. Who knows? Everybody is getting in the 70s. What the? Climate change is weird, y'all. Everybody's just getting 70 degrees, but then bam, snowstorm. I don't know. It's all good. So, Joel. Does everybody know, or most of you know, on the Beachbody app, and for those of you that are new here, I am not a Beachbody coach. I am just an avid Beachbody on-demand user. I love the online workouts that they have, and Joel Freeman is the trainer who I adore. He has done Lift 4, which is the program that I am now on my third go-around through. And so he's this real good-looking, real fit trainer man, right? And I follow him on Instagram. And today he was talking about how he weighed himself for the first time in a long time simply because he and his wife were going on a big safari African vacation. Lindsay, hey, good to see you. And so just for fun, he wanted to see what kind of damage he was going to do while he was in Kenya. And so he got on the scale and he ended up weighing in at 190, which was a number higher than he had anticipated. And then when he came back 2 weeks later, after a bunch of not working out and whatever, he actually managed to lose 3 pounds. And I was like, oh yeah, my reaction at first was the same as everybody else's. Sure, Joel, rub it in. Why don't you, right? But what I loved, and this was important to me as somebody who is working on getting certified in nutrition and who overall really appreciates people who actually know what they're talking about and spew facts instead of just repeating what they hear online or whatever, right? He started talking about, he goes, before you get all jealous, Here is why I think I lost weight. And the number one thing he said was, I haven't been working out. I haven't been working out, which means all of that weight gain that happens after you weight train, which for anybody who's a beginner at resistance training, do not be alarmed if the scale goes up the day after you do a heavy resistance workout, or maybe even 2 days after you do a heavy resistance workout. But also do not let that dissuade you from resistance training, because resistance training is just crucial to so many things. Resistance training is awesome for your body. It's healthy, it's good for fat loss, it's good for all of the things. But the direct impact it has on your body in the short term, because you are putting acute stress on your body, is water retention and inflammation and all those things. So what Joel said was, I haven't worked out in like 2 weeks or so. So none of that residual stuff is there in my muscles. None of it. And he goes, and also in Kenya, their serving sizes are a lot smaller than in America. So while I was busy having a great time, I also wasn't eating quite as huge servings, but most importantly, I wasn't working out, and that wasn't causing regular bodily inflammation. And I just appreciated that he said that so much, because in my mind, it gave him it validated the credibility that I wanted to already give him. Like, because you never know, like, are you really knowledgeable in fitness and nutrition, or are you just a good looking dude that can kind of get by and they put you on the television? No, he actually knows what he's talking about, which is awesome. So, and also, if anyone was curious, Joel weighs about 190 pounds. But the other thing he said was actually, he goes, it doesn't matter what I weigh. What matters is how I feel. And after 2 weeks and a couple of months of being a little bit more lax, and then 2 weeks of vacation, I feel fluffy. So it's time to get back at it. And then he was in the gym later today. So I just found that to be comforting as somebody who loves his program so much and who likes to take stock in people that actually know what they're talking about. Knowing that Joel is one of the people that actually knows what he's talking about is very helpful to me. It's already in 5 days without a shower. I can deal with that. I just want to be able to cook and use the bathroom at home. I've been living off iced tea and packaged foods. Oof, that does not sound fun at all. Spending too much money at Starbucks. Yeah, I can only imagine. Can you go to a library or someplace else? That's a good suggestion. Yeah, it's under normal life circumstances, it would be not quite as bad, but like the fact that you have to go and hang out in public places all day in a COVID world, that's less than ideal. So you're doing the best that you can, and that's all you can do, really, given the circumstances. So, yeah, all right. So I kind of touched on, I'm getting fired up about goals. So I'm very curious to know what you guys would like to talk about this evening. Because at first I was like, should we have the holiday conversation? Is it time for the holiday time conversation yet? Or should that wait a couple more weeks? I can't decide. And then, being at the goals training right before this, I'm like, let's talk about goals. And then I'm also like, but let's talk about weight training. I want to tell you guys something very, very interesting about carbohydrates. You ready for a little, uh-oh. The guard dog is, I think, barking at another dog. She rarely barks, like real barks. For those of you that are new, I have a little Yorkie. Her name is Gracie. She has big dog syndrome, except when anything remotely scary happens. And things that she deems scary, not scary. My dog is a wuss, but she also can't let go of little dog syndrome. So she thinks she's a big dog, like she's tough like a big dog, but she's actually not tough at all. She's a very bizarre personality, that little dog of mine. And so carbohydrates, I've been doing like the big scary floor. Exactly, like the floor. This dog is afraid of the wood floor walking to her potty in the laundry room. She's also afraid, my newest discovery, we have this really cute tin that is her dog food bin. We buy her massive bags of dog food, and then we fill up this little tin, and then, because she only eats like a cup of food a day, so the tin lasts us forever. But it's metal, right? It's a metal container. She's afraid of the sound that the lid makes when you take the lid off. So now that it sits next to her food bowl, I get down on the floor and I open it and she bolts. because of the big, scary food container lid. I was like, I'm sorry, what? How did we break you? I don't understand. I raised you to be a strong, independent woman, and she thinks she's a strong, independent woman, but in my mind, if you're going to be a strong, independent woman, that has to apply to all facets of your life. You can't be a strong, independent little doggy and be afraid of the kitchen floor and of the dog food bin lid. It doesn't make sense. Or belts, for no reason. No reason whatsoever. We have never raised a belt to that dog. She's terrified of belts. I don't know. But she will take on her cousin, who is a 70-pound giant beast of an animal, without thinking. She would fight that dog into submission if she needed to. She doesn't need to because Zoe gives in to submission right away. But I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with my dog. I threatened to turn her in for an upgrade the other day. I can't remember what she was doing, but I was like, we need to upgrade you, man. Maybe it's time. Maybe we cash you in for the newer model. I don't know. This dog. Oh my gosh, this dog. Anyway, carbohydrates. Here is a very fun fact for you guys. You guys know that while whatever nutritional choices you choose to make, I don't judge you. If you want to do keto, if you want to do whatever, fine. But you know that I am fundamentally against the ketogenic diet. Why? Because I like carbs. I like bread. I like Oprah. I love bread. I love sweets. I'm not going to live in a world that doesn't have carbohydrates. I'm just not going to do it. So for me, keto is the wrong choice. But there is such a heavy emphasis on low carb being good for weight loss. And shout out to my nutritional coaching. I now know exactly what is happening to our bodies when we eat carbohydrates and why when you go on a low carb diet for weight loss and then you put carbs back in, horrible things happen. Everyone I gained all the weight, blah, 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 blah. I can't eat carbs, whatever. For every gram of carbohydrate that you consume, you retain roughly 3 grams of water. Let that sink in for a second. What does an average day of carbohydrates look like, right? Like, I don't even know. I can't look at my tracker. I'm somewhere around 180 something carbohydrates a day in my macros right now. But let's say, for the sake of rounding, let's do 200. That is 600 grams of carbohydrates. I'm about to bust open a calculator because I don't feel like doing math. 600 grams divided by 28 is 21.4 ounces divided by 16. 1.34. 1 1/3 pounds of water can be retained in your body solely from eating 200 grams of carbohydrates. Now, to be clear, this is not a reason to freak out about eating carbohydrates. What this does is it emphasizes the reason that you should eat carbohydrates regularly, consistently, because something like that shouldn't be an element of your weight for the average Joe. Now, let's say you are a bodybuilder or a bikini model. You've seen some of those bikini models on Instagram who have like not an ounce of fat on them. Say you're somebody who needs to make weight for a competition. You know exactly what you need to do to drop some weight. You drop carbs for a couple days, you might lose 3 pounds, right? But for the average Joe Schmo, like you and me, if you're working on a weight loss journey, I would argue that it's not if you plan on eating carbs in the future, right? And most of us plan on eating carbs in some way, shape, or form in the future, right? I plan on eating, well, I'm done eating for today, but I plan on eating carbs tomorrow. I would argue that it would be better for your weight loss journey instead of going low carb for the sake of weight loss, because do you guys remember what the ultimate goal of weight loss actually is? Because it's not weight that all of us are trying to lose. It's something else that we're all trying to lose. So the weight on the scale isn't actually relevant to the ultimate desired outcome of the journey. Therefore, I would argue that instead of going low carb for the sake of seeing the number on the scale go down, it would be better to consume a somewhat regular amount of carbohydrates consistently over time So the weight that you gain from consuming carbohydrates, or the weight that you retain from consuming carbohydrates, remains the same. So when your weight does go down, you know it is fat you are losing and not water retention weight from carbohydrates. That was just I'm like, man, it's such an interesting thing to think about. And like, I loved that this program gave me like a math equation, like anywhere between 2 and 4 grams of water per gram of carbohydrate. And I was like, dang. So that's why when people go and you have a good time, you have a night out, you're a little puffy the next day. It's because your poor body is retaining water simply from eating carbs. Does this make carbs bad? No, it does not make carbs bad. Carbs are good. We like carbs. But it puts some things into perspective, right? And ultimately, that's one of the things that I'm like, I would love to be able to just have this overall balanced lifestyle, living my best life, both eating the foods that I love, maintaining weight loss that I have achieved, toning up my body, still get to eat dessert at the end of the day, right? Yeah, it's absolutely why. If you've eaten 400 grams of carbs today, and like not even just today, but tomorrow you're gonna feel real puffy, right? That is just your body's natural biological response to carbohydrates. That just is what it is. So I found that to be a fascinating piece of nutritional information that I wanted to pass along to you, my friends. So you can use that piece of info for whatever you want, but next time you have a carb-heavy day and you get on the scale the next day and be like, but I fit into my calories, but you maybe ate more carbs than you normally did, fear not, worry not, feel guilty not, but just know biologically what happened. So knowledge is power, and that makes you feel a little bit less guilty about the carbohydrate intake. Let's see. I'm a strong, independent woman and turned into a wimpy little girl when I was surprised by a mouse in my garage. I would do the same thing. I am a pretty strong, independent woman as well, but if I find a spider, it's all over. It's all over. A mouse, it would startle me, but I wouldn't be afraid of the mouse. I'm not afraid of rodents. I'm afraid of bugs. That is my one big weakness is bugs. I'm also afraid of precipitation, but there's at least a logical reason for why I don't like snow and why I don't like rain. Like, there's logic behind those fears, but there's not logic behind my fear of spiders, other than they're creepy. But I'm terrified of them. Terrified. I told you guys about the time in the basement a handful of months ago where there was a spider on the floor and I decided to kill it by putting the 25-pound kettlebell on top of it, right? Might have been overkill. Oh, Lindsay, how is that going? I forgot that happened. I'm surprised you're on there. Did you rectify that whole situation already? Oh my gosh, her dog got skunked tonight. That happened once, and I learned the hard way that things they don't test you for in the allergist office. Your allergic reaction response to skunk spray. They don't test you for that. This asthmatic is highly allergic to skunk spray. How do I know that? One of my parents' curious dogs years ago when I still lived at home, one of my parents' dogs, or I guess he was kind of my dog, he adopted me, went outside and got skunked. And they didn't know he had gotten skunked. He was a hound dog, so he barks at everything, so they didn't think anything of the fact he was barking. So they let him inside. And he was spooked enough where he was running. And so the whole thing happened in a flash of like the dog came inside. By the time my mom realized the smell was on him, he was already running through the house and he ran by me in passing. And the second I inhaled the whiff of skunk spray off of him, I couldn't breathe. And I was like, crap, I need to go find my inhaler. I've had a rescue inhaler since I was 10 years old. Usually I use it before I sing to give myself extra lung capacity. I have only a couple times in my life had to have used it for an actual airway emergency. That skunking day was one of the days I had to use it for an actual asthmatic response. Skunk spray is no joke, man. No joke. Once I know something is there, I can deal with it. Surprise me and all bets are off. That's fair. That's fair. She grabbed takeout salad from somewhere. Do you have Panera? Mix it up and hang out there. Now I want Panera. And there's not even one in our town. I keep getting advertisements for Panera's new flatbreads. I haven't been to a Panera in ages. Ages. I think we went to one since we moved here. I remember driving to pick up food in the rain over at our local Panera Bread. We have definitely not had Panera since the pandemic started. But they have flatbreads now. Your girl really just has a Jonesin for some good Chicago pizza. That's really what it is. All pizza looks really good to me right now because while we have had pleasant pizza experiences here, we have not had, I want some Lou Malnati's. I want Lou Malnati's. And that is what it is. Hopefully I will get it in a couple of weeks, but I want Lou Malnati's so bad. Like, that would be a perfect world. For my birthday dinner next week, my husband's like, what do you want to do for dinner? And I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even know what I want to freaking do for my birthday. The only thing I could tell him is that I wanted to eat cake. That's all. That's all I want to do for my birthday. But like, we had to decide on what I wanted to do for dinner. And I'm like, I really just want pizza, but like Lou's pizza. And you can't get that here. You can't get it here. So it is what it is. What was I going to say? Well, I called the ER because it was in her eye. They said it can cause a chemical burn. I ran out to the pest store. My house smells, and she didn't even come in. Oh man. So is everybody else getting her washed up, or is she all washed up? Did you get rid of the... I know you can, but it's so expensive, and I'm going to be in Illinois for Thanksgiving, so I figure I will just... I'm just gonna get it when I'm there. We are extending our stay in Illinois slightly, so there will be ample amounts of time for me to make sure we get Portillo's, and for me, Portillo's I can get here. There is a Portillo's like a half an hour away from me. So if I really had a hankering for Portillo's, I can go do that. When I go to the my neurologist, I get Portillo's, which, you know, has happened a whole one time. I stopped at Portillo's because it was there. And when a Chicagoan is near Portillo's, you stop at Portillo's. It's just like calling. It's a beacon. And I don't even get a hot dog. I get a salad, but you still got to stop at Portillo's for the chocolate cake. So I can get that here. But if we're going to be home in a few weeks, I thought about it. I was like, would it be worth the splurge to have them send me a frozen pizza? No, not when I'm going to be home soon. So we've been spending too much money on food and snacks, and I have food I'm going to have to throw out because I haven't been able to cook. Oh, that's the worst. Is it like chicken and stuff, or is it like vegetables that you can throw in your bag and take with you? Because you can eat the vegetables. I copied Lakin for my birthday and did a drop-in birthday Zoom call, which was actually super fun. Oh, that's not a bad idea. I'll have to think about that. My birthday happens to be on a Saturday, so it's this coming Saturday. So I'm like, oh, the one year my birthday's on a Saturday, I can't even have a party. Wouldn't have been much of a party since we don't know anybody here yet anyway, but it's the principle of the thing, you know? It's the principle of the thing. But that's not a bad idea. Just to be like, hey, let's all get together and show up if you want. That'd be great. Thank you for that suggestion. I will have to keep that in consideration. But also, like, I have no qualms with just spending time with my husband. I adore my husband. It's fine. We have managed quarantine without any major fights. We've never had a major fight. But like, quarantine has verified that we are married to our best friends, which is great because like, we don't want to kill each other. At the end of the day, we still want to sit down and like watch TV together and spend time together on the weekends, which is wonderful. So I'm like, what movie can I make him watch? Like, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, what could we do that would be fun and low key and just like, keep me from having to make any decisions. That's what I want for my birthday, is to not have to make any decisions. I know I want cake. I know where I'm going to go to get the cake. The local grocery store around here has some killer cupcakes. And then I don't want to make choices. I don't care. Do you want to open presents? If you want to give them to me, great. I don't want to make any decisions. I just let me be, you know? But I do like that idea. Can you freeze some? I've been throwing all kinds of veggies in the freezer, chopping and freezing. No running water, so I can't wash dishes and the kitchen counters are cluttered. I can't get in there to cook until the chaos subsides. Panera's close to Aldi and Chanhassen. Yes. Salad and chocolate cake, my kind of meal. It's so good. So they have like a Southwest Chipotle barbecue salad, some barbecue salad. It's very good. And so I always get that, and I get chocolate cake, unless the lemon cake is available. If you like lemon, ladies and gentlemen, Portillo's lemon cake will change your life. It is delicious, but it's only around seasonally, and up until a couple years ago, it hadn't been around in like 8 years or something. I don't know. Just going to deal with living off my stash of cookies and snacks. Not a couple movie, but we swear by the Martian was the best movie we've seen in years. Oh, interesting. Couple minutes till dinner, my Steves. Hi, Anita. I haven't seen you in a while. It is so good to see your face on my screen. I hope you are doing well, my friend. What's for dinner? Anything exciting? I had leftover chili. Guys, the best thing in the world is when you make crockpot food or food that you intend to freeze and then you forget. You forget you put it in the freezer and you find it a month later. That's what I had for dinner tonight. And you know what? It's as good as the day I made it. So good. I love it. So that was what's for dinner tonight in the middle of our game of what's going to expire, what do we need to eat before holiday travel. So yeah, all right. I rambled on a whole bunch of things. So what else would you guys like to chat about tonight? Now that I talked about carbs and now I'm thinking about cake and Panera bread, which is, you know, carbs. So I had a eat me guilt-free brownie. I was like, oh, what am I having for dessert today? I already ate my dessert. I'm done eating. I am done eating for the day, y'all. Don't let me think otherwise. Last Friday was my birthday. We went to Red Lobster, Trader Joe's, stopped in Dunkin' Donuts on the way home. Perfect day for me. That sounds lovely. I know for a fact we won't be going anywhere. We're not going to restaurants yet, but we're ordering out because if I have 2 rules on my birthday. 1, I'm not cooking. 2, cake. I wish I could make cake on a Tuesday a rule because I like cake, but like those are the only 2 things I need to get me through my birthday. I don't want to cook. I don't care what we do, but I don't want to cook. And I need to eat cake. That's all. Sounds wonderful, though. My hubby and I bake ourselves some cookies and watch an old movie every night. It's how we spend time together after the kids go to bed. I love that. We have just started watching, you guys. Oh my gosh. So we are actively trying to get more engaged in understanding the Black community with the whole Black Lives Matter and everything. Like, we are taking the anti-racism stuff to heart, right? And my husband's employer also is doing some stuff internally to work on diversity and anti-racism education and all that stuff. So one night, like, we had no TV shows left. All of our TV shows have stopped filming. We don't have a whole lot of TV shows to begin with, and we only run one streaming service at a time. So like right now we have Hulu active, so we don't have Netflix right now. So all of our stuff that we want to watch is on Netflix. So we're like, well, let's finish up whatever we need to use on Hulu first. And he comes downstairs one day and he goes, all right, I have a new TV show for us. Are you ready? And he turned on Blackish. It's so funny. It is so funny. I can't even handle it. So that's what we've been watching in the evening now. We love it for a couple of reasons. One, there's like 7 seasons on Hulu. So if we binge watch it a little bit, we're not going to run out anytime soon, which is awesome. But bonus number 2 is that they're short episodes. Typically, we end up involved in TV shows that are hour-long episodes. So what is it without commercials? Like 45 minutes, 50 minutes, right? So like you start one and then you're like, well, do we start another one or don't we start another one? If we start another one, we're going to have to stop halfway through. These are little itty bitty 25-minute episodes because we pay for the no ads on Hulu. So, which, by the way, we just started doing that. Worth every penny to get rid of the commercials on Hulu. Oh my gosh. But Blackish is hysterical. Hysterical. I am a Scorpio. Yes, I am. It's hysterical, guys. So if you need a funny TV show, and you guys know how I'm always talking about how I need to watch something funny. Like, we watch so much drama and so much, like, action and whatever, which is great. I like that kind of stuff too. But, like, truly, you just need to watch something funny sometimes. Blackish is our new something funny, and it delivers every episode. It is so good. Oh, goody. Look at who's here. Sorry, dude, not into that. Yeah, grandmother sent over chili. I'm gonna have that. Oh, good, it's chili night. Chili night for the Engebretsens. Love it. Is that one actress is Diana Ross's daughter? Which one? I don't know the names of any of the actors in the show. So is it like the mom or the oldest daughter? But that's awesome. Speaking of meatloaf, what is that recipe you're obsessed with? And Maria is talking about, yes, the meatloaf is from the Skinny-ish Dish. If you search it, the Skinny-ish Dish best meatloaf. It's literally, she called it the best meatloaf. It really is the best meatloaf. It is so stinking good. And I modify the recipe because my husband can't eat peppers. So I took, the recipe calls for a pound of beef, lean beef, a pound of lean ground turkey. You mix it together, so it's a blend of meats. And then you do 1 pepper and 1 onion. Because my husband doesn't want to have the pepper, I just do 2 onions. It's so good. So good. I made it last week, again, for like the 6th or 7th time. It is so good. Speaking of cake, what is your method for eating cupcakes? Good bakery cupcakes with lots of frosting, not a box cupcakes. What do you... Oh, you mean like literally what's my technique for eating a cupcake? So, okay. So, I mean, at this point, nothing I say is going to come shocking to you because I'm a dork, right? So if it's a big, delicious gourmet cupcake, first of all, I do not eat it like a cupcake. I eat it with a fork. But what I will do is I will actually, depending on the quantity of frosting on top, and that is a huge key player in this, because in my mind, the frosting to cupcake ratios have to be perfect. And for me, perfect is more frosting than cupcake. I know there are people that believe otherwise. I'm not saying you're wrong, but my cupcakes need to be frosting. So I will take the fork, and if like the cupcake, I don't even have a good, like if this is the cupcake, I will take a fork and like kind of carve out a little bit of the cake on the bottom to eliminate some more of the cake. I'll eat the cake, don't get me wrong, I'll eat it. But then the cupcake to frosting ratio is more legitimate, and then I make sure that there is frosting and cupcake in every single forkful. Because I love cake, but I love frosting more. But sometimes the frosting can get overwhelming, so you need the cake to balance it out. I will eat just straight up frosting, but I can only do like a tablespoon or 2 before my body goes, whoa, that's too much frosting. So I have my body trained, which is both a good and a bad thing, to understand when it has had too much sugar. Like, it knows, and if I go overboard on sugar, I will get jittery and uncomfortable and whatever because I have a sugar high because I don't consume as much sugar as I used to, you know? Good question, Lissa. Good question. What do you and a jaguar have in common? I'm trying to think of a sassy answer, and I can't even come up with a good sassy answer. I was gonna say I was fast, but anybody who knows me here knows that ain't true. So I'm trying to come up with a sassy answer, and I can't. Shove the cupcake into my face. That's a good technique too. But I can't just shove the cupcake into my face because I have to make sure all the pieces are right. If I'm really behaving and I have a big old gourmet cupcake, I'll cut the cupcake in half and only eat half of it. That's not likely to happen on Saturday though, because it's my birthday and I will eat a whole cupcake if I want to. That should be my new theme song. Meanwhile, I want the corner of the cake. I like less frosting. When there's sheet cake, I need a middle piece and not a piece with an end. Meanwhile, Sarah, you're a girl after my own heart. Seriously. Yes. I like that. But there are days, like it has happened where I have consumed like the cake piece is so sugary that I have to put it down. And I'm really glad that I have learned that about myself. It's not flawless. My self-control is not flawless by any means. And I will end up overdoing it. The mom on Blackish is Diana Ross's daughter. Awesome! That's really good to know. What a fun piece of information for the next time I watch an episode of that show. But yeah, give me all the frosting. Give me all the frosting. Oh, so good. One more thought on Blackish. All of the kids are so funny. But my favorite character, and this became apparent by like the second episode who my favorite character was going to be, is the little girl. She's hysterical. Has me in stitches the whole time. And I think it's primarily because we know a family from our previous church, and the two little girls that they have are spitting images of their mother, a Black family. And I could see, like, I see her kids when I look at this little girl on the TV screen. Like the same level of sass, the same all of it. I was like, and even Eric's like, oh my gosh, these are her kids. I'm like, yeah, I know. I had the same thought. But like, sometimes I split the cupcake so I have two short cupcakes. That's a good way to do it. I've been known to sit down with a fork and an entire cake. I did that once we didn't eat the whole cake, but we literally, a friend came over and we baked a cake, like just a box cake, nothing exciting. Baked a funfetti cake, had frosting. We frosted the whole thing, 9 by 13. He and I sat down at a table, turned on a TV show, and ate right out of the pan. No shame. This was, of course, this was when I was around my heaviest weight. Stands to reason, right? That totally corresponds. But I have done that. We didn't eat it. I actually have a picture. It shows up on Time Hop occasionally where we ate the entire middle of the cake but left all of the edges. You could tell where our priorities were. Because I'm a middle girl. So on regular, like 9 by 13 though, you don't have the icing covered corners, right? So I love the middle of pretty much anything. I am the person who loves, literally anything. Like I was trying to think of an example, but like I will be the person where if it's the option to take the middle brownie right out of the pan, I will do that. I love the middle of cookies because they're gooey, so I will eat around the outsides first and save the middle for last. But I also do that with sandwiches. If I make a sandwich, I will eat all of the crusts off of my sandwich and work my way in towards the middle. I like the middle of things. So it stands to reason that we ate the middle of the cake. Middle piece of sheet pizza. Yes, unless the crust is exceptional. Because I also like bread. So I am an equal opportunity pizza person, but I will absolutely pick up a piece with crust and make sure I have middle pieces represented as well. And then based on, like, if we're talking like square pieces of pizza, I will eat one of each and determine which one I felt tasted better. And that determines if I go back for seconds, what kind of piece I grab. I'm a little bit of a food snob sometimes. Like, I'll eat almost anything, but I can be very particular if you want me to be. Empress of Cupcakes. Don't you know it? Yes. You're so passionate. Gotta be passionate about something. Guys, on the Power of When quiz, good night, Anita. It was lovely seeing you. The Power of When quiz, where we figure out our chronotypes, remember we were talking about that? Literally one of the questions is, you are passionate about food, true or false? And I was like, that is true. And that is the only not dolphin thing about me. That is a bear trait, I think, not a dolphin trait. That birthday cake, Lissa. Thank you. But that was one of the questions. True or false? You are passionate about food? And I was like, I think I can safely say that I am passionate about food. I did that with a box cake a few months ago. It was just me and the cake, didn't share it with anyone. I had to throw it out and spray it with all-purpose cleaner to stop myself. Yep. We could be very good friends as long as we each have our own cakes. This is why my new favorite thing, when I treat myself lately, if I'm going to the grocery store, and I'm like, I'm going to get myself a thing, it can be a generous thing. Like the grocery store, one of the local stores around here is called Lunds and Byerly's. And this is the place that has the exceptional cupcakes. And this is where I'm going to go. When my husband's like, what do you want to do for your birthday? I'm like, I don't know, but I'm going to Lunds and I'm getting myself cake. I knew that that's where I was going to go and get my cupcake. I normally go to Nothing Bundt Cakes, but that's further away this year. And also COVID just makes doing pretty much anything unappealing. So I'm going to go to Lunds and I'm going to get me a fancy cupcake. And, but if I have this cupcake, it can be a big, generous cupcake, and it can be 1 or 2 servings, depending on what I want it to be. But the servings that, like, on the little label, it says 750 calories for the whole thing, you know? So it's not me bringing home a whole cake. I run no risk of overdoing it on the entire cake because I now only purchase single serve desserts. Even if it takes me 2 servings to eat it, it's still a single serving of dessert. So that's like my, yes, Diana, I have, and they are very good. They are not easily accessible though. The only time I've had one is they opened a cupcake shop in downtown Chicago, and we happened to be in the area. I don't even remember why we were downtown. I think I was with my mother. I don't know why we wandered over that direction, but we managed to, we were in a place and I was like, let me see how close we are to the cupcake ATM. And we were close enough where I'm like, let's go. And we went and got them, and they're so good. And then I did have, long time ago, I got a PR package of like goodies. And one of the things in it was a cupcake mix, a Sprinkles cupcake mix for their chocolate cupcakes. And so I've made Sprinkles cupcakes, and they were very good too. But I've only ever been to the cupcake shop once, I think. No, twice. I went once in Atlanta too. Twice. They're very good. They're delicious. I love them. I was thinking about going up at Nothing Bundt Cakes, but I might have to rethink it after the week I'm having. Same with the Target cookies. Yes, one generous, delicious buttercream topped cookie is still only 1 cookie. So it's better than bringing home a whole case of them. We did curbside pickup at Nothing Bundt. Worked really well. Easily paid online and picked it up. Oh, that's awesome. But will they give me my free one? That's the question. If I can do curbside pickup for the free one. It'll also depend on the weather, which is crazy, but that's how I roll. Like, I'll go anywhere if the sun is shining, or not even if the sun is shining. If it's dry and clean roads, I will go anywhere. I'll do any errand. It's fine. You put snow on the ground or the threat of snow on the ground, and I'm not going anywhere. Are you going to track on your birthday? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So here's the thing. I'm going to track. If I go over, fine. Although there is the possibility of me not going over. This week, I'm eating 2,000 calories, guys. Like, I'm eating 2,000 calories, and I got on the scale this morning, and I'm holding steady. And I just, like, literally today finished my period. And my weight was solid. I was like, huh? How? What? 2 or 3 days ago, that was not the case. I hopped on the scale just to, you know, I'm getting very good about it's just a piece of data. Let me see where I'm at. And I was up a couple pounds, which was totally expected. But to be rock solid where my maintenance poundage is today, I felt very, very pleased with that. And I've been on 2,000 calories since Friday. So even if I have a 750 calorie cupcake, I still have like 1,200 calories left to eat the rest of the day. And I think we're gonna have sushi for dinner. So like, I could, in theory, without trying too hard, have sushi for dinner, eat an entire cupcake, and still not starve myself the rest of the day. Like, still just eat and stay on track the whole day for my birthday. Will I? Don't know yet. We'll see how the spirit moves me. But I'm not using my birthday as an excuse to not track, and I'm not using my birthday as an excuse to just eat like a jerk either. I have a very deliberately planned treat, and I have a planned dinner, and there's really no reason for me to do anything funky the rest of the day, you know? Unless like pizza randomly got delivered, but that, I mean, that's not how it works. So, you know? I have to go to the NBC that's further away because I refuse to buy from a local store. The red velvet is divine. Yes, the red velvet. Now, I am a red velvet lover. I love red velvet. My wedding cake was purple velvet. Purple velvet. Because I had not even the audacity, but I was like, I know the only thing that makes red velvet red is the fact that there's red food coloring in it. So when we met with the baker for our wedding, I was like, okay, so I want a red velvet cake, but can you make it purple? And he was like, we absolutely can make it purple. So I had a purple velvet cake for my wedding, but red velvet has been one of my favorite flavors for a very long time. I think it's because I love me vanilla buttercream, but I also really love a good cream cheese icing. But there was so much consumption of red velvet, or like especially early on in my marriage, like because like whenever we would go out, I'd get a piece of like red velvet cake or a red velvet cupcake that I actually grew tired of red velvet. And so there was a longer period of time like where like I had it if it was the only option or whatever. But last time we went out to Lunds and Byerly's, so a handful of like 4 or 5 weeks ago, I got a red velvet cupcake and it was so good. So good. But like you can apparently overkill on things like red velvet. I've also overkilled on pumpkin spice, so I'm very careful about what pumpkin spice things I eat in a season now because I don't want to grow jaded of the flavor. But I do remember that the Sprinkles Cupcakes red velvet cupcake is one of the best red velvet cupcakes I've ever had. Very good. Maybe call them and ask about it. You won't be the first to ask. I will definitely do that next month for my free one. Or maybe I will. We'll see. You call your local store. Worst they can do is say they can't honor it unless you come in. Yep. When I'm not eating like a jerk, I regularly have enough calories left over for a dessert. Yep. Oh yeah, I have had yesterday. Gosh, what all did I eat yesterday? I managed to eat beautiful meals and still had enough room to have a generous serving of macaroni and cheese with my dinner and have a dessert. And like 2,000 calories, don't get me wrong, you can still very easily blow past 2,000 calories if you're not thinking about it. But if you are thinking about it, you can fit in a lot of things into a 2,000 calorie day, which includes my 140 grams of protein and a dessert every day. It is possible. And I was like, wow, 2,000 calories is starting to feel comfortable. So like, I don't know where my limit is going to be. I don't know where maintenance is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be 2,100 or 2,300. I have no idea. But knowing that I'm this comfortable at 2,000 is really nice to know. I know their chocolate chip cake batter is dangerous. Does red velvet have a different flavor or it's just the color, not counting the frosting? No, so red velvet has cocoa powder in it. At least in my experience, I've made a couple of red velvet cakes in my life and like it's a chocolate cake. And it's a chocolate cake, and the only thing that I remember being a little bit weird was that you had to put, I don't know if this was just the recipe I followed, but there was a little bit of apple cider vinegar in it, or regular vinegar, something in it to like boost it or fluff it or whatever. But I remember going, oh, we don't normally put vinegar in our cakes, but it's a chocolate cake, so there's cocoa powder in it, and then you just pile on the red food coloring. So that's, I've had that thought. I'm like, oh wait, so red velvet's just chocolate cake. So I think truly, I think the frosting is one of the key elements that differentiates a red velvet cake from a chocolate cake. I could be wrong. Any bakers up in here want to correct me, feel free. Here's a hi. My period ended Thursday, Friday morning, and the toilet was taken out Friday morning. Well, that's good timing. That would have been horrible. That would have been horrible. Like Lindsay said, that would have been horrible. We used to call it red velvet. We used to call red velvet murder cake. Yeah, it's red. It's real red. Like, not if you're not careful, it will dye your fingers type of red. I can't even remember why I made a red velvet cake now. I'm really trying to remember. I think maybe I made red velvet cupcakes once. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know. Every once in a while, the spirit so moves me to try baking a bunch of random things. Did I tell you guys that my husband and I made our own Oreos the other weekend? I don't remember if I actually said that on here or not, but we legitimately made our own Oreo cookies. It was fun. Chef Google says it has cocoa powder, buttermilk, and vinegar. Okay. I was gonna say, I think there was something else that gives it a slightly more bitter or tart or whatever. What's the sour? Like, is sour the right word? The buttermilk will do it. Okay. Thank you, Chef Google, for explaining that. But I very vividly remember the vinegar going in there and going, oh, this must be what makes it special. I don't know. I think of it as less chocolatey. Right. Like, which is why when I was making it for the first time, I was so surprised to see that there was cocoa powder in it, because I didn't know what made red velvet special, but I knew that it was special and it was a category all its own. And so when it called for cocoa powder, I was like, wait, it's chocolate cake? I did not know that. I binged on thin Oreos after you mentioned them. The Oreos that we made were real good, but we did, so 2 things we learned about the Oreo cookie recipe that we made. 1, you gotta make twice as much frosting. You just gotta. Fact of life. Could be because I'm me, but regardless, I made extra frosting. And first I made like the regular batch of frosting because we ran out of butter, and I filled them. But then we had a couple of cookies left over, so I was like, don't worry, I will make some more frosting because I'm not going to be mad if there's just extra frosting hanging around, and I'll finish the cookies. So I finished what was left, and then I had enough frosting to go back and I retwisted everything open and filled them again. Double stuffing them was the right choice. But then the other thing that you need to know is that the cookies get better the longer they sit around. And this was an agreed upon result of my husband and me. I made a comment to him. I was like, I think they get better days old. And like the last day we had them around, he goes, I think you're right. This is delicious now. And we think it's because the frosting has a chance to seep into the cookie, moistening the cookie and removing the bitterness of the dark or the black cocoa powder, because the cookies are a little bitter. So the sugar of the frosting is what helps mitigate that bitter. So after a couple days, you use the double stuff, and then there's sugar and it gets rid of the bitter, and it's just, we will do it again. It might not be in 2020, but we will make them again. It was very good. You should have seen the measuring cup from the food coloring I had to wash. It was like cleaning up a crime scene. I can only imagine. The chemical reaction between those ingredients causes it to take a maroon color, which is boosted by food coloring. Aha! There we go. Thank you, Lindsay, for being the researcher into the facts about red velvet. We should just rename this the weekly food chat. Oh, I know. I mean, so the truth is, most of y'all found me because of weight loss content. And let's be real, weight loss content is really just about food anyway. So most of you found me because of food to begin with. Therefore, it would stand to reason that we just talk about food all the time. But to be fair, I'm giving y'all the choice of what to talk about, and food still manages to come up somehow. I don't know. It might be because you're you. I hate double stuffed Oreos because I think they have too much frosting. Oh no, I hate the JoJo Slims. I have been disappointed by Trader Joe's. Oh no, wait, I was thinking about Good and Gather. I made a comment not too long ago to my husband about how I have not been disappointed by something with this brand yet. I think it was Good and Gather, not Trader Joe's. But I'm rarely disappointed by Trader Joe's. The JoJo Thins disappointed me. I do not like them, which is a bummer. My coworker makes sandwich style cookies and said they are better the next day. Yep, softens the cookie. Yep. California Pizza Kitchen is the best red velvet. I can honestly say I've never had their red velvet. I talk about food all the time. I'm sure I annoy people. I mean, food is a thing of wonder and joy and nutrition and sweet and all the things. It evokes all the emotions. I love food. I love Good and Gather. Their packaging is pretty. Yes, their packaging is pretty, but more importantly, they make really good products. I have literally not been disappointed in Good and Gather since I've been buying it. It's very good. Like, there is not a single item that I can complain about. And there are some things that I actually prefer Good and Gather brand over the brand name. Like, it's very good. It's very, very good. For those of you who don't know, Good and Gather is the new store brand at Target. So they have a whole bunch of stuff. So if I used to eat less than 1,500 calories, but after calculating my calories, I end up with 2,000 to 2,020, do I need to eat all of it if I am full, but don't get my protein in? So this is stuff that I am still learning. Upon first, because I asked the same question when I started macro tracking, and I was like, whoa, 140 grams of protein is a ton. I don't feel like I can eat all of my macros. They did tell me to try to be as consistent as humanly possible. But more important question for you, Diana, is you used to eat less than 1,500 calories. When is used to? Like a while ago, and you've been reversing up to that? Because I love seeing those numbers. I love the idea of you going that high. If you ate 1,500 calories up until today, and you're gonna go to 2,200 tomorrow, you're gonna gain weight, which is exactly why I'm reverse dieting. Because I did not go from 1,500 to 2,000 overnight. I started with 1,600 on October 9th, and I went to 2,000 this week. So make sure that process is long. But to be honest with you, I don't know the answer to that yet. There have been days that have gone both ways. There have been days where I'm like, well, I only have 12 more grams of protein. I can get it in, and I would hit my protein goal and still be within my calories. There have been days where I'm just like, I'm tapped out, and if I eat more food, I'm going to feel sick, and I do not want to do that. If you honestly just can't eat any more food, I don't think one should ever force yourself to eat more food if you don't want food. I think that is the worst thing that anybody, especially people that have been trying to lose weight or diet or whatever for so long, that is the worst possible thing that you can do. Simply because we are already trying to stop ourselves from a cycle that we've been in where we overeat anyway. So why would you force yourself to overeat when you're trying to do something healthy for yourself if that's a cycle you're probably trying to break to begin with, So like for me, if I can acknowledge like if I eat these last 200 calories, I am not going to feel good. I'm not going to eat them, because I don't want to tell my body that that's okay. I don't want to, the days of eating beyond fullness, or even in a perfect world, eating beyond satiety are done. That's over, So if you're full and you don't want to eat your food, don't eat your food. It's fine. I used to skip meals, or if I was dieting, I felt pride in my fitness. But yeah, it's been a year or so. So what are your calories right now, Diana? I'm just curious because I just don't want you slapping on 700 calories in one day. That's all. That's the only reason I ask. So my answer is do your best to get your protein, but if you're full, I do not advise anybody to stuff themselves full for the sake of meeting your calorie goal. I just don't think. I fully anticipate, based on how I'm feeling, eating 2,000 calories. Let's say, I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong, but let's say my maintenance is 2,300 calories. So I will have 300 more calories that I will be able to pile on and call it maintenance. I can eat 2,300 calories and then give or take, every day. If I have a day where 1,900 calories and I've just eaten so nutritiously and so much protein and all the right things that my body is like, you're full, you do not need 400 more calories, one day of hitting 1,900 calories will not be a bad thing. Because if you think about it, there might be another day we go out for the weekend and maybe I eat a little bit more. It's all fluid. It's all a range. There's no reason to be so fixated on one specific number every single day, especially if you're going into maintenance mode, especially if you're in maintenance. So like if I know my body's happy place, my body's place to maintain is 2,300, I can have days of 22, 21, 20, 19. That's fine, but I can also have days of 25 or 26. And that's fine too. And as long as it all evens out at the end of the day, I'll maintain and that'll be fine. But I just don't, I would be shocked if anybody said, no, you must eat your food even though you're stuffed full. I just would not advise that. It's a good question though. Now, I will add this in though. If you are significantly missing your protein goal, it's not about eating more calories, it's about changing what you eat. So make sure we're clear on that. Make sure you're making choices to give yourself adequate protein throughout the day. So if you have a couple hundred calories left, odds are you're at a pretty solid range in your protein goal already, right? So like my breakfast, lunch, and dinner today got me to, I think it was 123 grams of protein without anything else. So I just had to make up a little bit of protein, Every other week we'd have red velvet or butter cake. I love butter cake. I haven't had a good butter cake in a long time. If we didn't get fries with dinner, we'd do cheesecake. That's a good trade-off. I didn't have a calorie amount before. I calculated macros recently and actually kept track, realizing how much I was eating but felt full. Yes, and you probably felt full if you were emphasizing protein. That's what happened to me. Your body will adjust because now I can eat the heavier protein and still end up hungry. But the first couple weeks that I did it, the protein goal felt like a lot. And because it is a lot, but B, just having that much protein, my body was like, I don't need anything else, thank you. But now that I'm lifting heavier and using that protein, I still get hungry. So, not a trade-off. We'd get fries as an appetizer before getting cake. You see why I've never gotten to goal. Fair enough. We, meaning my family, would go to Cheesecake Factory and we would either get a meal and then get cheesecake to take home, or we would do appetizers and cheesecake. Because you can't have a meal and cheesecake, that's just too much. It's just too much. But I haven't had Cheesecake Factory in a long time. Y'all, I'm done eating for the day. I just want now you're just getting me psyched up for my cake on Saturday. That's basically what this is. I'm like, ooh, you know what would be really good? But we're not going to the grocery store this week, so I have to eat for dessert whatever's in the house. And that's not true. I was about to say we have no cake, but we do. I was going through all the stuff in the basement to figure out what is expiring soon to see what we have to use up. To my surprise, we don't have all that much that needs to get used up, but I did find a cake mix down there that I forgot I had. I was like, oh look, we have cake and we have canned pumpkin. I can make pumpkin cake. Happy day. Water is so delicious. You know what, Sarah? Water is delicious. And this, where am I at? I'm about here, and I'm done with my gallon of water for the day. Water is so funny. So funny. Good stuff. What else you guys got for me? Anything else? Anything else? Now I'm thinking about EMD birthday cake brownies. I don't love the birthday cake brownies. I just don't. I have one left from my first box of brownies, and I can't bring myself to eat it because I have so many other options that are better. I'm just not a fan of the birthday cake ones. I don't know why. Maybe I need to try it again now that I'm like an EMGF connoisseur and like that taste is always there, but like I just don't. I was not excited about it. I wanted to be excited about it and I wasn't. But I found 2 Galaxy brownies in the basement yesterday and I almost like danced. I literally almost danced because I was like, I thought I was all out of Galaxy brownies and I'm not. Ashley, hi, good to see you. Oh, when you found the whole box of brownies. Yep. And I played the Hallelujah chorus. It was a good day. There's only one left now because I definitely ate one yesterday. I was so excited that I found a Galaxy brownie. So all the brownies, all the brownies, and I've tried most of them. Galaxy's still my favorite. My mother-in-law, who also has a steady supply of my favorite flavors hanging out at her house, says that red velvet is her favorite. And red velvet is my second favorite. And Galaxy is her second favorite. So it's just it's a texture preference or whatever. I don't know. But I just love the Galaxy one. And so good. But I can't validate the price for our budget. Yeah, that's totally fair. What you should do, and I don't have any information on what might be coming. I wish I did, but keep your eyes open at like Black Friday and stuff like that. See if they have any sales or anything happening. Planner stickers to keep. I use planner stickers to help me use my planner to track fitness. You bought them. Thank you. My poor tired brain was trying real hard to reconcile what you were saying. Keep me accountable using Alyssa's idea of sticker for activity. I will try your idea to get total steps for the week. That has been tremendously helpful for me for several reasons, because it doesn't make me feel quite as anxious about like today. I don't actually know how I'm doing today, but like I did the elliptical for 20 minutes today, did some housework stuff, but also spent some time at my computer today. So like it helps me not feel guilty about actually sitting and getting work done and doing stuff. But it also helps me for things like my really lazy weekend. Middle of Saturday or whatever, I looked at my watch and I was like, all right, where am I at? Because I'm, PMSing and not feeling great, all those things. I'm like, I just don't want to do it today. And I looked and I had 73,000 steps for the week and it was Saturday. And I was like, I met my goal. I don't have to move another inch if I don't want to. Happy day. And I still did. I got 10,000 steps on Sunday and I got like 5,000 steps on Saturday. But it lessened the load of like feeling like I can't justify having a relaxing weekend. And that average just took that away. Like I was like, oh, I can absolutely do that. If we want to sit and watch 2 movies today, we can do that. And that felt really good. So the weekly average thing for the reading too, it really helps. I want to take my sticker chart concept workout, turn into a habit tracker. It's a good idea. I'm all about the consistency. Whatever will help you guys be consistent with the processes that will help you get to your desired outcomes. Mostly since I go to work, come home, doesn't need to be planned. Yep. Oh, I'm sorry. I've been talking so long, I can feel, so this is what happens. If you notice, towards the end of my live streams every week, I start to yawn. And it's because my jaw has been going, and so I can actually feel the tension in my jaw, and my yawning is trying to relieve the tension in my jaw. That's what's happening, because I notice that it happens every single week. But I gotta keep talking, because there ain't no one else here to talk to. Although, my hope is that I may or may not be able to get a couple of guests on my live stream at some point in the near future. Since I will be with other people, that could be interesting. That could be fun. I don't know if people will join me or not, but I'm going to offer it to see if anyone just wants to come and hang out on camera with me. I think it'd be fun. And also, I will need you guys to, there's been a slight change of plans, and so I will need you guys to be aware of the fact that, where's my calendar? My planner is sitting right here, y'all. Turned to December. Is that the week I need? I don't know. Tuesday, December 1st. There is a possibility that there will be 2 missing live streams because of the way my travel plans have changed. So we are extending our stay in Illinois, which is awesome, amazing, but that might mean that I don't have access to quality internet on the 1st. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. Just before I forget to tell you guys. You make me yawn every time. Just thinking about yawning makes me want to yawn again, and I don't want to. Every day I get on my treadmill, I take the time to listen to my daily Bible. I'm hoping to read through it by the end of the year. That is a great way to spend your time on the treadmill. I really like that. I was talking to a coaching client today. Guys. That was my other high. I had my first coaching call today, and it was awesome. It was so good. I really enjoyed it. I think my client enjoyed it. It was a really good time. And we talked a little bit about faith and stuff too, and how different people do different things with faith planning, and how they, get their Bible reading in, and all of those things. And so that's a really great way to do it. I like that. I tend to either watch YouTube videos on the elliptical, or, sorry guys, if I just let it happen, it helps. And then I can go longer in between yawns if I just embrace the tension release. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of, what was I saying? Oh, or I will read, but not like a paper book. I will read on my iPad because I can't hold the book and do all the movement. Since my sticker chart is all about seeing how many days I work out during the year, it helps with any kind of self-sabotage related to streaks, because it's not about the streaks, it's about the total at the end of the year. Yes. I'm just trying to brainstorm how to translate that into something with 12 habits instead of just one habit. I mean, the simple answer would be to have 12 different tallies. What you really need is just a habit tracker instead of a calendar, or like a weekly planner or something that could, oh, you have a weekly planner. What am I saying? Or a weekly planner that you could, I know you use your monthly calendar to track your workouts, but if you didn't put anything else in your weekly planner, but you put a habit tracker on every day or something, I don't know. The more that if it's weekly, it works. If it's a daily planner, it works less, because then you'd have to flip through 365 pages. I'm planning out. I'm mentally going through different planners and being like, would this work? I don't know. But there's also, I don't have it here, but there's also habit tracker pads you could use, I guess. I don't know. Right now I have a daily planner. I don't use weekly because it's too overwhelming. Okay. Well, that might be one way you could consider using a weekly, is nothing else goes in there except the 12 habits every day, and you can check accordingly. Like in your power sheets. You know how your power sheets has 5 spaces for dailies? Think of it kind of like that. Or you could use your power sheets. But I don't know what you plan on doing with your power sheets this year. Oh man, I am so excited. I haven't gotten up the guts to do it yet. Oh, I can't get to it. It's behind things. But the first page of the 2021 Power Sheets is brainstorming your goals. Write down your goal ideas. And I was this close to putting a pen to that piece of paper today. And I was like, but I don't know if I'm emotionally ready to write in the 2021 Power Sheets. So instead, that notebook's hiding too. I wrote down some goal ideas in a different notebook. Because I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to actually write up my power sheets, which is the whole point, is to make a mess of them and write them but I'm trying to hold out. I really, like, part of me is like, let's get all the planning done now. But I paid for Cultivate Your Year Live, which is the virtual conference where we're all, and anybody who's attending is going to go through PowerSheet stuff together. And like, I'm literally on that page. I don't remember why I was on this page. Oh, because that's also the day that I'm going to be starting my next round of Lift 4, December 7th. Yeah, I'm excited about that. What about the thing that looks like a kid's chore chart list on the side? It's a good idea. I have to think about something. Wasn't planning on buying multiple planners. Was hoping to find a way to use the monthly spread. So a simple way to do it. Okay, a simple way to do it. Ish. If 12 is really your number, that complicates it a little bit. But if you had like 5 or 6, you could just use different colored markers, and in the monthly thing, just whatever things you actually do gets that color of a line in it or something, you know? 12 is a little bit like, I'm thinking like you'd end up with like tie-dye boxes by the end of it. But I don't know, that could work. Just as a way, instead of, I was trying to avoid like 12 different stickers or something. But you could just do like 12 different check marks or 12 different colored lines or whatever the case may be. And then you could tally, here's what you do. And then you track that. And then if that feels too overwhelming to count up at the end of the year, that's fine. You could do running subtotals at the end of each month. So you do all your color coding and your 12 different lines or whatever the case may be. And then at the end of the month, at the sidebar or whatever, you just write down the line and the goal, and you'd write down your total. So then at the end of the year, you just have to flip through your monthly spreads and add up all of your subtotals. That's a way you could do it. I don't know. I have my planner structure for the year is going to be Erin Condren Daily Duo for my regular planner, and then I have a Moxie Life Planner coming, which is the goal planner. It is a weekly goal planner, and I'm not going to get to see that until I get to Florida. And then I have the Power Sheets. That's my planner lineup for the year. I'm trying very, very hard to not buy anything else. We'll see how that goes, because y'all know me, but I'm like, I really like, with those 3 things, I should not need anything else. Right? I think 12 was a random number. Yeah, okay. If 12 was a random number and it's more like 6 or 7, like I would just do a different color. That's what I would do. And then just total them up and write the subtotals in the sidebar. That's an easy way to do it. And bonus, the more on you are with all of your goals, the prettier the monthly page looks. That is something that would motivate me. No joke. Being like, I could have all these colors every day, and how awesome would it look to have just, because that's how I am. That is how I function, y'all. Yep. Turning my percentages into a blanket. That could work too. Not trying to change the subject, but I really like Lift 4, but I think I'm going to try to switch it up to a more cardio-based program after it's over. I might try PIO, or another Joel program. That sounds great. Yeah, absolutely. And you guys, I said I was going to start Lift 4 again. I do Lift 4 chronically because I'm seeing such good results in terms of muscle gain with Lift 4. Like, I'm pointing here because this is the muscle that I noticed was popping just last night. And I was like, oh, like, I even walked up, I stopped what I was doing. I walked out to my husband and I was like, I have more muscle definition. And he's sitting there like trying to squeeze me. So I flex. I'm like, no. Just run your finger over it. And you can tell that it feels toned. And then there's dip right here. You can feel it go whoop. And so there's like mass to it, even if you're not flexing. So for me, like this, like the fact that I'm growing muscle makes me want to keep doing it, because ultimately that's all I want to do. And look good in a cute pair of jeans and look good naked and all that stuff. But like ultimately all I want to do is be 2 steps ahead of my disease. And this is helping me do it. So I want to do that. But I would agree with you. I don't love the HIIT part. If I'm being completely honest, I don't love the HIIT part. Oh, hi, Kim. Thanks for coming. But so I don't love the HIIT. So I will add on other stuff to it. Go for walks and whatever, like all those other things. I've been doing the elliptical after a lift sometimes now. Sometimes not, but sometimes I do. Because I get that. I understand the urge to have a more cardio-based thing because I love the feeling of cardio. A good cardio workout just makes me feel like I'm on top of the world, you know, which is why I love body pump, because body pump for me does both. And so with body pump, like I'm lifting and it's great, but body pump hasn't toned me and built me quite like lift has. But that first time, you guys remember that first time I did body pumps since COVID shut the gyms down, and I did it at home, and I was like, holy crap, that like my heart rate did not know what to do with that input. That I think is why I like body pump so much. It's to music and it gets my heart pumping, but I also feel like a weight training badass because I'm lifting weights. I think that's what body pump does for me. I love circuit days, but I need more cardio. I might not be seeing results because my body isn't ready for toning yet. I think more calorie burn for a while. That's absolutely possible. So that would definitely be something to look into. Maybe you can add in the macros course that I'm in. They talk about how a key variable could be like an extra hour of cardio a week, not an extra hour a day. 1 hour spread out throughout a week could be enough of a difference to help kick you into a deficit further. So it doesn't have to be a whole lot, but adding a couple more cardio workouts in a week would definitely help, for sure. All right, friends. Does that cover what you needed, Ashley? Before I cut people off? That was everything, right? Yes. Yeah, I just want to make sure that I actually answered your question. But yeah, I definitely think more cardio is good. I'm never going to say no to more cardio. I have to I have to be aware of the amount of cardio that I do, because for maintenance, they actually advise taking away cardio, because you're scheduling your coaching for tomorrow. Awesome. I'm glad you told me that. I have to go and turn off the 48-hour restriction, because I think I currently have it set up to do you need to be plan it at least 48 hours in advance. I will turn that off for you if I know you're going to make a scheduled call. So you can go ahead and do that. I will do that right now. So thank you. And yeah, all right, friends, that clocks out our time. This is good. This felt really good. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me tonight and talking about all the things. I apologize if I have given anybody the strong urge to eat cake. Because I know I now have the strong urge to eat cake. But I at least have a birthday coming, so I have an excuse to go and eat cake. But this is really, really fun. Felt really good. I love sitting down and talking to you guys, as always. I gave you guys all the 411 on potential dates that there will be no live stream. So I think I covered all of that. So that's all she wrote for the day. Now to run to Target. Happy targeting, Lissa. I absolutely want to eat cake, and all I have is Halloween candy. See, that's two very different things for me. I can be craving cake like nobody's business, and I won't give candy a second look. Yeah, not the same. Exactly. Kim, then you're lucky you missed it. We talked about cake for a good long time. All right, my friends, have a wonderful night. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I will talk to you next week.